to my channel. Aloilla knit. Aloilla means on the waves. My name is Reetta. I am a knitter from Finland, and today I thought I would go through a little bit of my intentions and goals for my knitting for this new year. So if this sounds interesting to you, or maybe you want to set your goals and intentions for your knitting as well with me, grab your knitting, grab something to drink, and I hope you enjoy. I want to set some goals for my knits, or maybe plan a little bit my year, not too specific. I want there to be room for inspiration, and plans can always change, so I won't make these too set in stone, but maybe think of some guidelines and just take a moment for myself to really gather my thoughts and figure out what are the big themes I want to focus on this year in my making. And I thought it would be fun to film this so that I could then come back to these goals at the end of the year, or maybe even during the year, and see how I'm doing, and have all my plans changed or am I doing the things I now think I want to do. So I have listed some things I want to maybe learn, and then some things I definitely want to add to my wardrobe, and then I have some more like general goals as well. So the first, a bit more specific goal I have is a technique I want to learn, and that is a double knit edge, like for example here, or like a bottom band or something like that. I have done double knitting only like in the bottom of a bag, never like picked up stitches and done double knitting like separately. And then kind of in the same category goes the bottom band. I want to do like a half button up sweater. There I am going to learn how to do a button band. How many times can I say the word button band? So I have done like buttons, for example, in a baby's like a bodysuit there in the crotch area. I haven't done any cardigans or garments like that before, and I won't be doing a cardigan, or I don't think I will, because I don't really wear those. But the half button up would be a really nice thing to try to knit, and then also to add to my wardrobe. And I have these gorgeous ceramic buttons I got from this store near our summer cottage, and they are handmade by a lady who she's like doing the buttons and ceramic things on her retirement. So the buttons are so cute. Maybe one moment, I will try to find them and show you. So I found them. I have these larger light gray white ones, and then these smaller blue ones, and I especially would want to use these blue ones in like this half button up sweater. I have so many ideas for these, so yeah, that's one plan. I have been decluttering and minimizing a lot during the past year. So 2023 was really the year when I started to find my style even more, and most importantly have the confidence to start dressing the way that felt good and the way I felt myself in. So during that process I also found a lot of clothes in my wardrobe that I really didn't use, so I got rid of those, and now I have a lot of space in my wardrobe, which is obviously very nice, and I don't want to start just collecting more and more, because during the past year I also realized that less is actually more. But I did find some gaps in my wardrobe that I really do want to fill with like well thought out garments that truly serve me. And one of those things is a black sweater or a dark sweater, and that is something I want to make myself, obviously. I also want to focus more on designing and really starting to write out those patterns and really give my creativity and my ideas some space. And that means also less whips at a time. I feel overwhelmed quite easily, and while I love that I can just follow a sudden burst of inspiration and cast on new things all the time, I also feel that the more whips I have, the more overwhelmed I get. And when I have too many whips, my mind feels cluttered. It's hard for me to focus on the things I'm doing, and then my space also gets cluttered because I don't have storage space for multiple whips, and because I like to keep my whips out in the open so that I can then work on whatever I feel like working on. So if I have like 6 whips and they are all around the house, it gets really cluttered easily. So I also want to avoid that, because then it's a circle, because a cluttered space makes my mind feel more cluttered, and you know, they just feed each other. And in general, I just want to have more intentionality in my making and in my cast-ons. And for me, that means more careful planning, like vision boards, doing proper swatches, and taking time to decide on the fibers I want to use, the colors, the garment itself, like the shaping and sizing and everything, and just not just cast on a whim. And of course, or not, well, not of course, but I do want to plan with my stash yarns, because I do have quite a lot of them. And one big theme also is to really embrace the slow of this craft. During the past year, I have really slowed down the pace of my life in general on other areas of my everyday life, and it has felt really good. And I have started to really think, what do I want my everyday life to consist of, and what I want my life to look like. And the slower pace has been feeling very fulfilling, and I have a sense of calm within me, more than I did before. But maybe because my life has slowed down and I have had more time, I've prioritized a lot of that time for knitting. And while other things have slowed down, my knitting hasn't. In fact, I think last year I made more knits and more crafts than ever before. And while I loved it and wouldn't change a thing from the past year, I maybe want to slow down my making as well a little bit. Just remembering that this is not a race. I'm not competing against anyone. And the reason I love this craft is that I can be mindful and I can create garments that I love and that last, from beautiful fibers and beautiful yarns, and not because I can just consume and consume more and make and make and make more things faster and faster. So maybe just getting a clear image for myself. Why do I love this craft and why do I want to spend more time doing it? So yeah, maybe to summarize, my plans for this year's knitting is to do carefully planned pieces that suit my lifestyle and my wardrobe and my style, enjoying the slowness of it all and learning something new. And I think that the slowness and the planning will come quite naturally to me when I start to take more time for the creative process of designing, because when you're doing something you don't have a pattern for, like someone else hasn't done the math for you, for example, and the designing, it bound take more time. So I think those goals go quite well hand in hand and support each other. I have a really good feeling about this year in life in general and with knitting, and I'm just falling in love with this craft more and more every day and as the years go by. And well, of course, finding this community on YouTube and on Instagram has been a really big part of that. It has opened a whole new world of knitting for me. So I'm really, really grateful for that as well. That was my plans and ideas and goals for 2024 for 2024 knitting. Thank you so much for watching and I hope you had fun. Tell me your goals and your intentions. And I also want to mention that these are not like goals everyone should have. If goal setting isn't something you even want to do, it's totally fine to not do these kinds of things or think these through. And if your goal is to make more this year, that's totally okay too. This isn't like the way everyone should do it, or I don't think that my goals are the perfect way for doing this craft, because it's so wonderful that everyone can express themselves in a way that feels good for them. So just putting it out there. But yeah, I hope you enjoyed and I really appreciate you being here. Maybe like and subscribe, and until next time, happy knitting!